Face reality, people. Movies are dead. Games are dead. Narrative? Dead.
Media is nothing but neural trigger response and viral conditioning.
Wait, what are you two talking about?
Jesus Christ. Alright, House of Dragon Season 2, Episode 3. Whatever to me. Actually, we were talking about it. It's kind of funny, the applause from the anti-SJW.
Yeah.
Where they have so many dumb male characters and seemingly intelligent female characters. Although that last scene where Allison and Rhaenyra are talking to each other made Allison look really fucking stupid to me. Like she's like, there's no choice. Like, I know you just told me the truth right now. I'm just gonna take your word for it. But it's too late either way. Like, it doesn't matter. It's too late. But it's like, wait a minute. This near dead human being laying on the bed, who give credit to Rhaenyra here, what she was saying of like, yo, he's been saying I'm going to like take over his entire life, the entire time. He kept saying me. Then the last seconds of his last breath, he said, Aegon, blah 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 blah. I guess, like, I don't believe Allison is looking at that as like, you know, oh my God, he really thinks his son Aegon should be the next guy. I think she's already looking to take power. This idea that she's like this innocent woman the entire time, I don't believe it, man. She's as manipulating as anyone, I think, in the show. At least with the character they've given to me. What the writers given to me, she is manipulating, in my opinion, bro. She even held on to the idea that it was fucking Aegon, her kid, and not Aegon, Jon Snow in the future. I don't know. Why didn't Rhaenyra tell her about the fucking dagger? Like, yo, hold the dagger on the fire, and you can read the words right there. It'll tell you. I don't know. But yeah, people like, sorry, Jody's corner. Like, he say like, oh no, they're teammates. Allison is a good person and wants the right thing, and she just, she's in a bad spot. She had, like, there's no choice. The war is going to happen. It's too late. Like, no, she was already wanting to go against Rhaenyra because of her, I guess, fucked up moral thing by sleeping with Kristen Cole, even though now she's sleeping with Kristen Cole.
I think there's two things. No, there's definitely two things. I feel like she feels she deserves something for fucking having sex with that carcass all those years and carrying all his babies. I think so. Like, it's kind of like she's living through her kids. Where like like, how can you deny my children the throne? When on top of that, like, let's be honest, Rhaenyra had illegitimate sons. Who's the fuck the strong guy? And then yeah, there's also the accusations of having sex with Daemon and actually having sex with Kristen Cole, which now don't matter. But when all that time, who the fuck knows? As far as the show's shown us, she wasn't having sex with Cole before the king died, but we're pretty sure she was.
But that was the reason she promoted him. Was because Rhaenyra slept with Kristen Cole, and Kristen Cole accidentally admitted it. Like, by accident, he admitted it.
Yeah, then he was gonna kill himself, and she stopped him.
And this fool just keeps getting promoted, I guess.
Yeah, he keeps getting promoted. Now he's like a general. In the next preview to the next episode we saw, now he's a fucking general.
He's the hand, the general, the leader of the Kingsguard, and, fucking the queen. This guy somehow made it there, which means he's going to have a horrible death. I would expect that, right? Gonna have like one of the worst deaths.
Cannot happen fast enough.
He is such a dumb dog shit character.
It's a hurdle. The show has such a fucking hamstring with him in it.
Like, I'm not even saying like Joffrey bad. Like, oh, like I hate this guy because he does shitty things.
No,
it's more like he's an idiot. Yes, he's an idiot, bro. Like a bad character, like poorly written character, in my opinion.
It's crazy, man. These anti-woke crusaders love such a woke show.
I
It's
know.
and Kristen Cole's like the embody. Kristen Cole and Damon are the embodiment of like woke culture, men roles.
I mean,
Well, but
well, Kristen Cole, like Damon, I get it. He's fake tough guy, look at like fake masculinity, masculine looking dude. Like, I could see why meatheads might like that character. Like, oh, he's so
bro, like
badass.
yo, they even put incel storylines with the dude Laris.
Oh, the foot fish.
Like they even got incel shit in here. Like yo, they're shitting on men in this show. But it's it's the anti-woke crusaders who are propelling the show. They're the ones eating this shit up.
Well, they could be made fun of right to their face through clever writing. Not saying this is clever writing. I'm just saying with writing, like films, they get made fun of all the time. Just they don't know what they're
Yeah,
getting made fun of.
yeah, they don't.
That's the thing about
They actually like promote shit that's making fun of them.
it.
That unbeknownst to them is what is actually not a good look for them.
What was the thing that people used to say about what's his name? Chris, right? Chris Hemsworth, Thor,
Yeah,
in the Ghostbusters 2016 movie.
yeah.
That is Kristen Cole. That is him, bro. No joke.
Yeah,
That's him. This guy's like, yo, why weren't you watching the guard? Why weren't you? Huh? Why weren't you? Like he's like an idiot, like a buffoon.
It's like most scenes where Cole's involved. Like when Cole's talking to the king, or he's talking to people on the round table. You could literally like put what's that shit? The drum thing, like ting, fucking drum, the drum shit, the fucking laugh track. Cause he's constantly getting clowned by like people smarter than him.
And he's
Constantly.
openly insecure about it too. Like you could see it on his face that he's openly insecure about being so stupid. In like a
he wrecked an old man for no fucking. He told him to sit down. He killed him.
he's yeah. I forgot about that shit, bro. He's like, oh, oops.
I didn't know my own strengths. Like you're literally
fucking George, bro.
Holdor has more cognitive skills than you do, bro.
He's George from Mice and Men, bro. He's just like, oh, oops. Killed someone, splattered his head. Oops. Like he's just dumb. Like, oh fuck, man. Like he's that level of stupid. But I don't know. People are buying in, I guess. It's a Lord Commander. What else is there actually to care about in this episode? I don't think. Yeah, maybe the guy who said he's the uncle. He's the bastard uncle of Rhaenyra.
I thought that was a joke. Is he actually telling?
I can't.
I think it might be something to it because when Aegon said all drinks on us, everybody was celebrating. He was looking right at him like shook and shit.
Yeah, he was like, oh, all hail the king. Like maybe he's scared about saying the story.
Yeah, everybody was celebrating except him. He was looking at him like he knew something about him or something.
Like he was scared. Maybe he was scared for saying that story out loud.
He was scared. Yeah, definitely scared. Like, oh, they might find out who I am or something.
If that guy is actually no one and that was just a bar joke, what the fuck was the point of that scene?
Yeah,
good God. Oh, that's fucking disgusting to do that.
There's a lot of scenes like that in this show where, like, what's the point of that? Like, what's the point? What's the point of this chick seeing the twin brother coming to the castle and then it's a throwaway scene in the next episode? Oh, I tried to tell them, but no one believed. Like, why would you even bring that up? Honestly, why would you even bring that up in the show? Like, it's just to save face so she can have a role in the show.
Rhaenyra should have been like, "Yo, you figured that out? You didn't come right to me? What were you doing? Oh, they didn't pay me enough to be in the next scene, so."
Yeah. The excuse the writers, because it's like that's another thing, like for the audience. fuck what the character did. It's the writers, bro. The writers write the story. They write the events how they happen. They're the gods of the shows, the gods of the episodes.
Yes.
When they introduce her in this episode we just watched, and they're like, and Rhaenyra's like, "Thank you for warning." It's like, bro, we didn't see that. That was all off screen. There's so much shit that happens off screen in this show.
I mean, not to mention the the beginning thing of the like battle with 1,000 bodies scattered across open field. Like, I guess
Like,
we missed that.
Like, yo, I want to draw. I hate to do this, but I gotta draw a parallel to the other show, Game of Thrones. Remember when Robb Stark caught Jamie?
Yes.
Remember, that's a throwaway, but it's like, yo, it's such a big what if. Like, you don't, that shit stays with you. That shit's happened 30 times in this show already. Where you lose track of the shit that happens off screen. Like, Cornrollus disappears and Cornrollus appears. You don't know how the fuck that happened.
Oh, fuck.
There's so many scenes like that in this show where it's like, yo, you become numb to it.
That's the perfect word. You become numb to it. That's the perfect description for that shit. And I think they're trying to like entertain by making it a guessing game to where some asshole online gets like, well, you know, the actual context of the situation is based right here in this one small little scene where they said it in a fucking background like sentence somewhere. It's like, what? All right, Game of Thrones initially, like they would put so many details to where it's not a guessing game. They're putting everything out in front of your face, but you're like piecing things together because there's so much shit happening. But they're throwing it right in your face.
And there's so much shit happening, yet there's still so much left interpretation.
Yes.
But they give you such a clear picture that you're like, oh no, like I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like it's not hard to explain. It's more thought provoking. Where this is like, oh, I see you guys have no imagination. So you make a episode. You leave shit out, then you bring it up back in the other episode and think we're not gonna notice. And guess what? Most of you fuckers don't notice.
It's for the guy at the cooler at work to explain what's happening in the show. That's what that shit's for, man. It's shit that, like, they think that's what Game of Thrones was basically about. But no, Game of Thrones, it was right there. It's just there's so much information that you have to go back and learn what politics are doing at the certain moments in time. This shit is like they're trying to play some sort of guessing game, or if you read the fucking books or whatever the fuck, so you can be the guy at the fucking cooler at work to be like, well, I know what's happening. Did you see that sigil in the background? I know exactly what that is. Here, let me explain it to you. Like, that type of shit, bro. That's not what I'm in the Game of Thrones for. Period. Like, I'm not.
I'm starting to think George wanted the other series to be more like this series. And they made it more like, they adapted it better for TV in the other series. Because I'm thinking, like, this is some anime shit, bro.
Well, the other series had no content because not everyone was book readers, right? So so Game of Thrones had to like actually build something for us to fucking get attached to. This shit is living off the attachments from the other show from Game of Thrones
and the books and the newfound love for the books.
So they can get vague enough and put us asleep long enough to where we get to CGI dragon fights. Like, that's where we're at. I'm not even calling this episode the worst thing ever. It's just, like, blah to me. It's, like, blah because the meaning won't happen. We're just waiting for the big battle scene, which I guess is next episode. The big battle and the big dragon fight. And who's going to win. Right? It's like when I was a kid, there's this saying like Batman and Robin or whatever, and you want to get the Batman cup at McDonald's or the Robin cup at McDonald's. They're doing that with Rhaenyra and Alicent, right? Like Team Green or Team Black. Like, I watched Joey's Corner do that shit. This is what this is the selling point of the show. Instead of the show itself, like the actual like care for writing. God. Anyways, they'll get away with it. They'll make their money. They'll do another spinoff. Which means whoever writes the next spinoff, unless they have integrity, it's going to be like, yo, we don't have to do that much. We can just fucking Like, boom, remember season 1 where all the fucking time jumps? Everything skipped. The entire fucking show skipped to get to this season, to where they're now skipping things to get to the fucking CGI dragon battles, man. So
Yeah,
it's like, what are we doing?
it's like they're not jumping years like that crazy,
Yeah.
but it's still like there's so many things missing. There's so many like things being patched together.
This should be narrative whiplash for the audience. They go from season 1, where they're jumping months, years, weeks at a time. Years, months, weeks at a fucking time. To where now we're like, everything's like kind of in sequence with each other. Like, tomorrow's actually tomorrow on the show. Even though, the Damon's ex-lover, whatever her name is, the girl, the new whisperer for Rhaenyra, basically, that chick, is basically teleporting from King's Landing to Dragonstone and back and forth and shit.
Yeah.
Whatever. I forgive it for now, but that should just remind you of season 7 of Game of Thrones, which fans kind of like notice a very big change, where Jon Snow receives a letter in Winterfell and teleports to fucking Dragonstone in the next episode. When we were used to like time building up and tension building up, they just said, "Fuck that! Let's get the characters meeting each other off."
Well, yeah, it's like they started cutting episodes. It's like, oh man, you could tell.
Yeah.
You can tell what's going on.
And sometimes I'm like, why skip certain things? Because there's a scene in this episode where I'm like, what the fuck? And it's Damon standing in front of a tree, I guess, and he has a vision. And then the girl gives the horror line, the horror movie line, like, "Oh, you're all gonna die here."
Yeah.
Like, okay. Or maybe she said, "You're gonna die here," whatever. But it was like a horror movie line. I'm like, was he just standing in front of that tree the whole time? Was he asleep? Did he sleepwalk to the tree? Is he still dreaming? What's going on here? It's like, oh, well, in the book, this tree's magic, and like, I don't want to hear that shit, man. I don't want to hear that, bro. Let the show fucking explain these things to me if they're gonna show it. Otherwise, don't fucking show it. Stupid. Did you take ayahuasca? Like, what? What was that scene? Like, what was the point of that scene? Other than a wink and a nod at book readers, maybe. Like, there's no like, unreal. When do we go into the minds of characters like that? When in Game of Thrones?
It's almost like it's not canon, bro.
Is Damon the three-eyed raven? What's going on here?
No.
They spend time on that, but it's like, it's the girl flying over doing the scouting, right? And she sees fucking Kristen Cole and Allison's brother and their little team, and they have to get away from her and go into the woods, right, from the dragon. And they explain afterward, like, yeah, you told me not to hurt them. I'm like, come on, fuck. Maybe she said it beforehand, but I didn't pay attention to it. But either way, to reiterate it would also be a problem. But whatever.
Emphasis on exposition.
I'm ready for CGI monster fights and open field battles.
Yeah, don't hold your breath on that being good.
Hey.
We ain't getting no Battle of Bastards here. I promise you that. I'll put anything on that. We're not getting no quality fights.
Well, but that's the whole point. We skipped through not just timelines. We skipped through characters using logic. We skipped through people, like characters' own personal logic and timelines to get to these battles, right? Instead of Rhaenyra, instead of Rhaenyra talking to Alicent earlier, right? We have to wait for Alicent to send a letter or whatever the fuck for her to like, oh, maybe I'll go meet her in person. Instead of doing it beforehand, God. Alicent could have, or Rhaenyra could have asked those questions about the Aegon thing earlier on. Like, oh no, he said like
before his son died, she could ask that.
she could have made a whole case about like, well, like how come Viserys has been saying this the entire time, and then all of a sudden, the last seconds of his life is when he tells you, "Oh yeah, actually, I changed my mind. Aegon should be king." It doesn't make sense. It's like, yo, maybe you should sit down and talk about it. Can you find a way to do that? Allison say, "Oh well, Aemon, you're not gonna get any luck with Aemon." Well, Aemon accidentally killed the kid, right? At least what they gave me in the show. It was the dragon who did it on its own, basically, without Aemon saying, "Go kill him." He was just trying to scare him, I guess. Like, there's so many fucking the logic flaws here, to where it's like the characters are skipping or scattering mentally to skip through to get to the big battle. That's what it looks like. The timeline is doing it, and their minds are doing it. Let's skip right to the battle. I'm like, all right, fine. It better be the best fucking battle. It better embarrass Braveheart. It better embarrass like battle scenes in film. All right. Anything else you want to say, man?
No. It's still a main event, but not for the reasons I want it to be.
Hey, with all the complaining we gave for this episode, this is still not one of the not the worst of their episodes, man. We've seen worse episodes. This is that's a problem. That's a problem. So, hey, it is what it is. I'm sure book readers, House of Dragon fans, whatever the fuck, will tell us possibly. Oh, you missed this. Oh, in the book it says this. I don't give a shit, man. I'm watching cinema here, and this is what they're giving us for cinema. A Blue's Clues fucking guess and figure things out like bullshit. Yo, give me a straightforward, like, tell me, show me. Don't put it behind scenes and want me to hear dialogue about it 10 seconds later. You know, don't do an entire scene off camera, then tell me about it in a conversation of some fucking war room somewhere. And like, oh, I have to guess and figure out what they're talking about. Oh, they're talking about that scene, that thing that we missed. That's what they're explaining the context for. Like, I don't want that shit, man. But whatever. Some people like that. They're probably idiots, but it is what it is. All right, there's our little reaction review for House of Dragon, Season 2, Episode 3. The next one, War is coming. Can't wait to watch the CGI fuckfest.